Hello and welcome to a new video. I thought today I would finally come on and do my first one-take wrap-up of the year. I didn't really read enough in January or February to do like a wrap-up video for either of them, so I thought I would combine the two. If you haven't seen before, I do one-take wrap-ups to show you what I read in the month or in 2 months. Just telling you everything I read in one take because I hate editing. So let's get into what I've read so far this year. It's not a lot. I've only read 11 books and it's already March. Anyway, I started off the year with a reread of one of my favorite books of all time, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. If you've been on my channel for a while, you probably know it's like one of my favorite books of literally all time. I have this piece of art literally like sitting right here. I love this. I love this series so much. I definitely want to continue the reread, but the reason I picked up this one specifically is I reread it and annotated it for a friend of mine. So she had never read it before, so I annotated a copy for her to read when she gets around to reading it. So obviously that was a 5 out of 5 stars. I love the story. I love the characters. It was the perfect read to start off the year. So had a lot of fun with that. And then we kind of diverged from that, good luck, and I read Queerly Beloved by Susie Dumond. I read this for my book club. I have a book club on Instagram if you want to join. It's lots of fun, except for when sometimes the books aren't as good as I want them to be, but that's okay. This one was decent, but not great. Like I liked the characters, but I do think it wasn't really marketed in the best way. I think it's marketed very much as a romance, and I don't really think it was a romance. It was like a women's fiction type of book, and I really liked the characters, and I liked kind of the journey. At first I was like, why is it set in like 2010 or 2012, whenever it was? It's so uncomfortable. And then it made sense why it had to be, but also I stand by that it made me really uncomfortable. I don't like, if you're gonna have a book set in the past, like at least go to like the 90s. The year like I think it was in 2013 or something. It was horrid. I hated reading it. It was just too cringy. I couldn't take the references. It's just horrible. And the outfits, oh Jesus Christ. But anyway, I actually have been writing reviews for all my books this year so far. I gave this one a 3 stars. My pros were cute characters, great representation, and lots of entertaining like baking scenes. The cons is that the pacing was off and there was just no chemistry between the two characters that were supposed to be the romance. And like I said, I don't really think it was a romance book. The romance was such like a subplot of a subplot that it just kind of fell flat for me, but wasn't horrible. It was nothing offensive. It just wasn't very entertaining overall. And then another one that was kind of a flop for me, I read Gear Breakers by Zoe Hannah Makuta. I thought that this, like going into this, I was so interested in the concept. I read this for my friend's book club, and it sounded a lot like the vibes of Renegades by Marissa Meyer to me, and I love that series, so I was really hopeful going in, but it just wasn't for me. The writing is where I really struggled. I didn't understand the romance between the two characters because it didn't make any sense. There was no like lead up to it. It was just all of a sudden there. There were way too many characters that like halfway through I just stopped trying to figure out who the characters were, and just like it was just a very unnecessarily confusing book, and it was not very clear in what it was trying to get across, so I didn't like it. It was a 2 out of 5 for me. It was not very well written. Next, I read Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. It was good. It wasn't great. I don't know if I'm gonna be reading any more Tessa Bailey books, to be completely honest. I like her, but I don't know, sometimes she just is like, I don't think romance is cringy, ever. but Tessa Bailey can get a little cringy. So I don't know if I will ever read more of hers, but I loved the setting of this book. So what I've been doing to write reviews is I write like my pros and my cons. My pros is that there was really, really good mental health, like anxiety representation. I really loved that. I would put that on, I'd put this book like on a list for that and like completely recommend it. And then the setting was amazing, like the wine country setting I adored. And I do like a second chance romance every so often, and this one I liked. My cons is that it was just a little bit cringy. And Tessa Bailey, she's done this in every book I've read by her. There's like a public sex scene where they're in public where they could get caught, and that's just, I have learned in books that's my line. I can't read that. So I gave it a 4 stars still. I still liked it. It just wasn't going to be an all-time favorite. And then I read Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. And look, I know I'm incredibly late to this party, but I'm here and I'm having a lot of fun. This book is quintessential Sarah J. Maas, and honestly, I don't really care what people say. I love Sarah J. Maas. I love the adventure. I love the romance. And frankly, the people who are putting down Sarah J. Maas books, it's mostly just sexism, right? It's the same reason people put down Taylor Swift. Like, you don't like it, I'm pretty sure, because it's written by a woman and it's written for women, and like, anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox temporarily, my soapbox. My pros, Rune. Love him, dearly love him. Very excited to see where we go with that. Incredible fantasy world, so many twists and turns, and it was a great start to a series introducing this world and introducing some bigger ideas that I think are going to be literally insane. And then obviously the romance, Hunt and Bryce, so cute, love them. Honestly though, Rune, it's like Rune and then like Hunt and Bryce. I think I like Rune better, I'm sorry. But I love him. I love him. And I just clicked out of my Goodreads, hold on. And then my only con for this book is that it's 803 pages. I mean, for the love of God, was that necessary? It took me so long to read. I gave it 5 stars. I love it, but why 800 pages? You know, that seems a little overkill. Next, I read Lore Olympus Volumes 4 and 5 by Rachel Smythe. I gave these both 5 stars. I did not write reviews for them. Definitely ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I want Volume 6, but it is not out yet, so I guess I'll just wait. But I really loved these ones. I think we're getting somewhere. I didn't expect, like, I'd be interested to know, like, what is the overall plan here? How many volumes are there going to be? Because I feel like in the grand scheme of a Hades and Persephone story, let's say it's, you know, like this, I feel like we're right here. So, like, is this gonna be a 30 volume series? Because one, I'm gonna run out of room. I already don't have anywhere to put these graphic novels, and I just, like, I want to get into like the nitty gritty of it. I want to get into the relationship portion of the story because I feel like there's so much interesting plot to be told there, and we're nowhere like near close enough to the, like, what I'm thinking of. So I have no idea where it's going, but I'm having fun doing it. So next, I read Crescent City 2, House of Sky and Breath. I loved this one. I loved it more than the first one. I read most of it on a plane to and from Florida. It was so freaking good. I love the development of the characters. My only complaint was the secret that Bryce kept didn't really make sense to me. Like, why hide things from Hunt when, like, if you're mates, you should probably be able to tell each other everything. But anyway, overall, loved it. Loved Rune. Loved the plot line with Agent Daybreak and Agent Night, whatever it's called. Loved Therian. Who else is there? I think that's all the characters. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I could be. Who knows? I didn't have any coffee today. But overall, loving it. Really, really loving it. I can't wait to start book 3. My pros were literally everything, and my con was I have to go to work instead of starting book 3. But this was 2 weeks ago, and I haven't started book 3 because I think I didn't start it literally the minute after finishing book 2. I'm too afraid now, so I have to like build back up to it. Also, the end. What the hell? Loved it. Genius. Literally, Sarah, I bow at your feet. I am so astonished she's pulling this off, and it's gonna be so much fun, and I love her, and it's beautiful. Can't wait. I will get to book 3. Next, I did a little switcheroo. I read The Heiress Hunt by Joanna Shupe. This is an historical romance by my favorite historical romance author. I did have a lot of fun. I gave it 5 stars. My pros, it's Joanna Shupe. I loved the like summer holiday, going out to the country, lake, whatever the hell, wherever they were, setting. Loved the hero, loved the heroine, and it's childhood friends to lovers, which is probably my favorite romance trope. The cons, though, was that just the conflict at the end, I was like, well, this is kind of dumb. Like, why are you guys even fighting? I like the things they kept disagreeing over. I'm like, why? I don't get it. So it's definitely not my favorite Joanna Shupe book, but it is still a Joanna Shupe book, so I loved it. So 5 stars. And I also read that for my book club, BT Dubs, but I think me and Brittany are the only ones that read it, so. And then the other night I read a couple graphic novels, because why not? And I'm trying to catch up on my Goodreads goal that I'm so far behind on already. I read Coven by Jennifer Dugan and Kit Seaton, who's the illustrator. Super fun. Really like this one. I gave this one a 5 stars. The plot was great. The emotional like through line was great. The relationships were great. The magic, the illustrations, just all the witchy goodness. So much fun. It was about this girl who has to move back to the East Coast because her family is actually they're actually witches, and they have to go back to be with their coven because they're fighting something. They don't know what yet, because one of the family of witches, the parents and the sister, were massacred, so they're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And it was really, really good and could easily be made into like a TV show or something. So 5 stars. My cons are that I want a sequel, and I don't think there is one, and I don't know if there will be one, but I want one. And then the other graphic novel I read, and Coven was Sapphic, if you're interested. The other one I read was The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich by Daya Muñez. I should have known by a title like that, but I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt. I didn't hate it. I liked the characters. I just didn't like the writing, which I feel like those statements contradict each other, but what I'm trying to say is that I liked the story and I liked the characters, but the way the writing was executed a lot of the time kept taking me out of the story. It was just too cringy. There were too many, look, I'm sorry, nobody likes cheese that much, and if you do, reevaluate, okay? It's gross. I don't feel that passionately about any food. Maybe coffee, but not even really. I'm not like a coffee snob, and people who are annoy me. Like, just chill out. And it wasn't chill. There were just, all the characters' names were cheese, and like the proposal with the grilled cheese, I was like, you lost me. You lost me. It had the makings of a really interesting story, and I really liked the relationship between the two characters. This is also Sapphic, but it lost me. So yeah, pros, art style, story, cons, all the cheese names made me angry, and the ridiculousness of it took me out of the sweetness of the story, and I stand by that. I gave it a 3 stars because I'm nice. So yeah, those are the 11 books I read. I need to step on it because I'm 5 books behind my Goodreads goal, but I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!